Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Abdul Basit Sohail from Lahore, Pakistan. In this video, we shall learn about the elements of contract. So first of all, we have to understand the definition of contract. Contract is a combination of an offer and acceptance. One person will offer and second will accept his offer, which gives rise to certain legal consequences. So offer and acceptance will be legally binding on both parties with regard to subject matter. So let's understand this definition with an example. If Mr. A offers a book of rupees 10 rupees, so Mr. B accepts that book of 10 rupees. So this is a contract where A offers, B accepts, and subject matter is book. So by analyzing this definition, we can easily conclude there are three elements, there are three pillars of contract. Number one, consent. It is also called SIGA. Consent comprises of offer and acceptance, parties, and subject matter. So, according to the majority view of jurists, there are three pillars, as we mentioned. But according to the Hanfi jurist, contract has one pillar, which is offer and acceptance. According to Hanfis, parties and subject matter is prerequisite for consent. According to them, consent necessarily include and imply existence of parties and subject matter. So according to Hanfis, consent will be always when there are parties, when there is a subject matter. So if we analyze the viewpoint of majority and the Hanfis, it's almost the same. So let's understand the offer. Offer is the willingness to do something positive. It is the declaration that is made first to create an obligation. So what is an offer? To do something positive. So what about willingness of a party to abstain from a thing? Does it also constitute offer or not? Islamic law is silent about this issue, but Federal Sharia Court of Pakistan has viewed that contract may be about to do something or to abstain from doing something. Acceptance, that is the subsequent declaration that confirms the offer. In our example, Mr. A offered his book of rupees 10 and Mr. B accepted that book at 10 rupees. So subsequent declaration by Mr. B is acceptance here. This declaration that is done in response to offer to accept the offerer is called acceptance. So these are the necessary conditions for consent to be valid. The consent by both parties should be clear. There should be no ambiguity. In our example, Mr. A clearly offered his book to Mr. B at rupees 10. So conformity of offer with acceptance. So offer should be confirmed with acceptance. In our example, Mr. A offered a book and B accepted that book. So conformity should be about the same subject matter. In our example, Mr. B accepted the same offer about the same subject matter, which was the book. So offer and acceptance should be on same subject matter. Next condition for the consent for the contract to be valid. is the issuance of offer and acceptance should be in same session, should be in same majlis, should be in same meeting. But there are some exemptions for unity of same majlis, same meeting. That exceptions are contract of agency is excluded from this condition. Making bequest is excluded from this condition. Appointment of an executor for property of the minor is also excluded from this condition. There are four kinds of form, four kinds of siga, four kinds of offer and acceptance. Acceptance can be done by expressing words, by writing, by just simple gesture and indications, and by conduct. So let's have a look in detail. Expressing consent by words is most obvious form of expressing siga. It is mostly frequently used. It is easier and clearer. Islamic law does not specify specific phrases for expressing consent. So there is no dispute among jurists about concluding contract through words. So the words or the consent by words should be in the past sentence. A offered his book to B. A will offer his book in past sentence and B will accept his book in the past tense. So there should be past tense used in consent in expressing offer and acceptance for concluding valid consent. For what about in present tense? It is valid, but circumstances should support that A is offering his book, B is accepting the book. But so far as in future consent, so Islamic law prohibit offering and accepting in future date. So that's why the contracts of derivatives that are the contracts based on future dates are invalid in Islamic finance. So forward contract, future contract, option contracts and swap contracts are not valid because they are offered and accepted on the future date. So by writing, majority view say that it is valid and even they are not at different places and even they are at different sessions. It means the condition of same session is not necessary here according to majority viewpoint. So according to them, consent can be done by writing. So modern way of expression for, comes under writing. For example, communication with fax, with internet, with ATM machines and machines dispenses food and inserting coins. So these are all modern ways fall under the category of writing, offering consent by writing and accepting by writing. Some of the Shafis say contract by writing is allowed only when the person is unable to speak. But Hanbalis totally don't allow contract in writing. Gesture and indication. We can also give offer and acceptance by gesture and indication. So, in detail, what is the opinion of different school of thought? According to Hanfi and Shafis, a person who can speak and write cannot do offer and acceptance by a gesture. But so far as Malkis are concerned, according to them, whatever conveys the willingness of the parties is sufficient, irrespective of words are used or not. So Malkis allow willingness by gestures. So what about consent, offer and acceptance by conduct? Majority of fixed schools permit offer and acceptance by conduct, but with certain conditions. So conduct must be from both sides. First of all, let's understand what is uh, conduct. In our example, A says to B, "I sell you this book for 10." B places rupees 10 on the counter and picks up the book. So this is offer and acceptance by conduct. So what are conditions to be followed? Conduct must be from both sides. There should be no evidence which negates consent of any party. It means both parties should do without any compulsion. Item must be of small value, but Malki allow for expensive items too. But Shafis don't allow offer and acceptance by conduct. When one of the party talks about unrelated topic showing avoidance, if acceptance is made subsequent to those actions, contract is not valid as the offer no longer exists. These are the some causes of the cancellation of offer. According to the majority viewpoint, an offerer who offers can withdraw his offer before the acceptance. But according to the Malki view, an offerer cannot withdraw his offer. Death of either party before acceptance, loss of capacity and insolvency ceases offer to exist, termination of majlis, and the destruction of subject matter. Our reference book is Islamic Law of Contract and Business Transactions by Dr. Tahir Mansouri. May Allah forgive my mistakes in content and concept. Thank you.